Well, yes, everyone knows the smell of the ocean is good for the soul. However, before we look at the beach, there are standard operating procedures before any YouTube video.
The strange Italian song.
You need to set up your camera and fight with your tangled lav mic. Hat or no hat? Definitely a hat. Get your shades and remind yourself how to smile. And don't forget to loosen up. This is supposed to be fun. And action.
Are you strange too? The word is strange.
What's up YouTube? So today we have anamorphic lenses and we were lucky enough to be given a set from FreeWell. So these FreeWell lenses have pretty much just been released recently. So they're really new and we're going to test them out today with the DJI Pocket 1 and the Pocket 2. The anamorphic effect, I'm going to explain that to you. And we're in a really beautiful location today. There was actually a shark attack in that very water. So this is the new FreeWell ND kit, which as I said, available for the DJI Pocket 2. I think it works on the Pocket 1. Well, as you can see in this set, you get a wide angle lens, which you can use with your DJI Pocket 2. I think you can use it with the DJI Pocket 1, but we're going to test that today. You get an anamorphic lens and you also get 4 ND filters. Now in the past, you couldn't actually use ND filters. I believe this is the case. Don't quote me on this, but you couldn't use ND filters and the wide angle lens or an anamorphic lens at the same time. So FreeWell Gear have actually fixed this problem, which is pretty darn cool. I'm going to show you how they've done that in this kit today, but that's a pretty good start.
So in a very smart manner, FreeWell give you a wide angle lens as well as an anamorphic lens, and you will see in the kit there are 4 different strengths of ND filters. We'll get to how those work in a second, but this is really good coming out of FreeWell.
Okay, so what are anamorphic lenses, you might ask? Well, anamorphic lenses are kind of like usually lenses, but in this case little lens adapters for the DJI Pocket 2, that all you'll have to do is take these little lens. You can see it's got a little magnetic strip at the bottom and you'll just slot it onto your DJI Pocket 2 on top of the magnet, which it connects to just like the wide angle lens on the... I live in a good neighborhood. So most lenses are round and project a round image onto your camera sensor. With anamorphic, it's not round, it's more oval shaped, and that oval shape gets projected onto your camera, and you have to actually in post de-squeeze it and pull that particular image across. But that gives you a much wider field of view. It really gives you quite a good cinematic view if you've got that stretched out pixel across your screen, and you get those black bars at the top, which I kind of like. I sometimes use them on the channel. I kind of like how they look when I do certain things. Yeah, the DJI Pocket 2 just switched off, as you saw. Wide angle lens is still attached. It hasn't fallen down a ditch, which is good because I'm pretty darn high up, and if I slip, I'm dead. So I took my DJI Pocket 2 to the city with the anamorphic lens in the night time to see what I could do. I think the video came out pretty nice. Have a look for those horizontal blue lens flares and have a look for that wide angle field of view in the anamorphic style of filmmaking using the DJI Pocket 2. I did have to do a little bit of noise reduction because the DJI Pocket 2, while it's okay in low light, it's not the best, but have a look and come back after the video because there's more tests we need to do, and you better come back. Any good cinematographer or YouTuber knows that the best time to film a video is 12 o'clock. They won't teach you that in film school though, because it's called the golden hour. It's when the sun is at its most golden. So jokes aside, that's why ND filters were invented, to block a lot of the sun getting to your camera sensor. And this particular kit with the anamorphic and the wide angle lens come with attachable ND filters. So you put your FreeWell wide angle lens on the front, the ND filter goes sort of on the bottom, and that attaches to your DJI Osmo Pocket on the front. The ND filters can also help you get slightly better exposure in clouds and different kinds of lighting environments, which is pretty darn useful. Well done to FreeWell Gear.
By the way, this will not affect your DJI Pocket 2 startup procedure or add any more weight to the gimbal that it can't handle. It seemed to work fine. I never had any issues turning it off and on while having the adapter and the ND filters on.
Okay, I managed to find a little bit of shade here, kind of. You know what it's like living in Australia? Have you ever stuck your head in an oven? That's how it feels. Sometimes. It's not always that bad, but anyway. So this is the wide angle lens from the FreeWell gear that they sent us. They also give you 4 ND filters in this pack. An ND8, an ND16, an ND32 and a 64, which is really powerful because you can block a whole lot of stops of light with an ND64. So these particular things are magnetic, and you'll see at the bottom there's 2 little magnetic strips, but I'll do something on the screen while I'm talking about this. And then at the bottom of your actual wide angle lens or your anamorphic lens, you just slot that thing on at the bottom. It magnetically clips on and it's flush with the bottom of the unit, which is pretty darn good. This means you can block enough light after it's actually passed through your wide angle lens, and that pushes onto your camera sensor, which is just brilliant. Let's test these things out.
We've only just begun.
Okay, so this is your normal DJI Pocket view. It's 20 millimeters. It's pretty good. It's easily to vlog on. If you're holding it, you're going to get 20 millimeters. So let's test the FreeWell wide angle lens first. This is the new FreeWell wide angle lens, as I said, not the old one, which I have with me, which we'll test as well. Let's see if there's any loss of quality compared to the one that you get in the Creator Combo kit. I'm not sure how many millimeters this is anyway, so maybe have a look at these trees behind me. Before, normal Osmo Pocket view. So this is the wide angle lens from FreeWell. I'm not sure if that's 15 millimeters. I wonder. It's pretty darn wide. Is there any loss of quality? Is there any sort of sharpness issues on the corners here? Any vignetting or anything like that? Don't say yes.
So this is the wider field of view on the FreeWell wide angle lens as opposed to the normal pocket view, which is 20 millimeters at the bottom. You will also see that tree on the top left of your screen, which is visible when you use the wide angle lens. I don't see any vignetting, and it's pretty impressive just compared to the normal Pocket view. So using the Pocket 2, I wanted to compare the FreeWell wide angle lens against the Pocket 2 wide angle lens that you get with the Creator Combo. And to be honest, I can't even tell the difference between these two videos. They both look equally sharp, both are about the same field of view, and the same for this particular image. If you can tell the difference, maybe leave it in the comments, but they both look equally as good, almost like they came from exactly the same factory in China, but who knows how they make these things. I thought it'd be a good idea to compare the Pocket 1 with no lens with the Pocket 1 and the FreeWell wide angle lens at the bottom. If we zoom in, we don't see any real loss of quality when using the FreeWell wide angle lens.
So there was actually a shark attack not far off this particular beach, right down there. The guy was quite far out. He was on a kayak, he was going across. The shark took the boat, he landed up in the water, and he was sitting there for a couple hours. Who knows where the shark went after that, but the only way they could find him, there's an airport nearby, and he was sort of navigating with the aeroplanes until in the search and rescue. He had a cell phone apparently, and he was phoning them and saying, listen, you've got to come get me, it's getting dark and all that kind of thing. So this is Australia, but they're beautiful animals, you know. Sharks are they're just hungry. Sometimes they're just biting to test you out and just see, you know, are you a seal or are you a fish? What are you? So dangerous waters. It looks beautiful, but it's dangerous out there. Comments about these particular lenses, I don't mind them. I think they're pretty good. The wide angle lens is probably not as good as the one that you get in the Creator Combo kit, but it's not a bad investment considering you get ND filters and an anamorphic lens, which, you know, you can do some cool stuff, especially with your DJI Pocket 2. So leave a like. I'm contractually obliged to ask you to leave a like. So let me know in the comments what you think. Subscribe if you haven't, and see you again next time.